Let me talk to you, friends, share an idea that is running through my head. I hope it's inspirational and something you will spread to colleagues and peers to think entrepreneurial and vanquish all the fear in you. The things that I'm sharing in this talk are mission critical, will help you navigate uncertainty and push your vision through and focusing on business, but anyone can listen to be more innovative. I share 4 things you should do. Music has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, and interestingly, has taught me uniquely valuable lessons about business leadership. When I was 4 years old, my dad taught me how to play all of his songs by ear on the keyboard. And his vision was for me to become a combination of young Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder as the lead vocalist in this band. However, there was 2 problems with this. First, my singing sucks. It's so bad that my dad said I sounded like Alfalfa from the Little Rascals, which isn't exactly a vote of confidence. Secondly, I fell in love with hip hop and was intent on becoming a rapper. Starting in 4th grade, during each lunch period, me and my classmates would perform verses that we wrote while another classmate pounded beats on the lunch table. I fell in love with music production the first time I visited a professional recording studio. My dad was there recording his album, and when I walked in, I was enamored by the bright lights and the huge mixing board. I asked my dad to pay for studio time for me to record my album, but he flatly refused. Partly because he hated rap, but mainly because I didn't fulfill my potential as Michael Jackson 2.0 for his band. But I was undeterred, so I recorded my album at home using the boombox, stereo, and keyboard, shared it with all my friends, and to my delight, it spread like wildfire across the neighborhood. My dad was so impressed with my effort that he bought me several pieces of professional recording equipment. And I didn't realize this at the time, but at 9 years old, I had just bootstrapped a minimally viable product, gained traction with a target market, and attracted an initial investor. And as I grew older, my passion for business eventually exceeded my passion for music. Over the last 15 years, I've launched companies, I've coached and educated hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I've held several leadership roles across the small business support ecosystem. I was having a conversation with a friend a few years ago, and he reminded me of a rap battle that I won against an opponent that everybody thought was going to destroy me. Reflecting on that day, I realized that battle not only taught me what it took to be a great rapper, but also what it takes to be a great business leader. There's 4 lessons that rap battle taught me, and those are what I'll share with you now. They are, number 1, always be ready to freestyle. Number 2, play to your audience. Number 3, don't let a setback become a roadblock. And number 4, draw connections between diverse experiences. These lessons have served me well as a business leader, and it's my hope that they provide you with value as well. Now let's get into the first lesson. Always be ready to freestyle. I have a confession. As a rapper, I actually prefer writing to freestyling because it allows me to tweak the lyrics until they're perfect. So I kicked off round 1 with a written verse and got obliterated by an onslaught of real-time verbal insults, including a prophetic line about my eventual male pattern baldness. My opponent did a masterful job of taking in real-time information and using that to shift his approach on the fly. And as business leaders, we must do the same. I launched my training company 2 months before the start of the pandemic. About March 2020, all of my client engagements were postponed indefinitely. However, learning my lesson from that rap battle, this time I was ready to freestyle and quickly reached out to all of my clients to get a better understanding of all the new challenges that the pandemic had created for them. Ironically, since freestyling was the perfect metaphor for what many of them felt like they were doing in that moment, I created a series of executive workshops that used freestyle rapping to teach business resiliency. By April 2020, I was up and running doing client engagements virtually, while many other businesses were still trying to figure out their next steps. As business leaders, we should always be ready to freestyle. Plans fall apart, but you don't have to. Developing your ability to flow through uncertainty is critical to your success, especially in this fluid business environment. The second lesson that I learned from that day is the importance of playing to the audience. For those who aren't familiar, during a rap battle, the audience is the ultimate judge of who wins and who loses. So after getting eviscerated in round one, I kicked off round two by asking the audience a simple question. Would you prefer that I rap about an embarrassing situation that I know about my opponent, or just rap about my opponent's crew? People love controversy, so of course they chose option one. And after that, it was all she wrote. By appealing to the desires of the audience, I was able to secure the victory. In business, our audience is our customers, and they too decide who wins and who loses. But instead of the oohs and ahs that a rapper seeks during a battle, in business, we seek sales and engagement with our brands. So how do you get a better understanding of what the audience wants? You do what I did during that rap battle. You simply ask them. I was part of a team that built a digital platform that connected small business owners with advisors and capital. But before we wrote a single line of code, we had conversations with over 100 businesses using their stories and feedback to shape the platform experience. By playing to our audience, we were able to create a compelling product that reduced the amount of time that it took to connect a business owner with capital and contracts from days to as little as 10 minutes. Just like great rappers, great business leaders understand their audience and faithfully pursue solutions that address their needs. And by asking the right questions, you can win any customer in any market against any competitors. Now I'll share the third lesson, not letting a setback become a roadblock. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but every time I mention round one of that rap battle during this talk, I have to come up with a more provocative synonym for the word destroy. That's how bad it was. But I didn't wallow in that round one defeat. Instead, I used the failure that I experienced as feedback to adjust my approach in rounds 2 and 3. As business leaders, it's imperative to avoid saying I can't and to instead ask, how can I? When we closed the doors of our technology startup in 2017, I instantly asked myself, how can I use the lessons that I learned and the network that I developed to benefit me in the future? I soon had the answer when I became the director of a community-based entrepreneurship center. Using the lessons that I learned from my startup days, we revamped the center's programming. And many of the founders and investors that I developed relationships with became advisors and facilitators for our programs. We were able to help our clients, Black-owned Main Street businesses, generate over $326 million in contracts and capital during my tenure as director, while also increasing the center's revenue by 650%. My failure became the center's success. As business leaders, we should always bounce back from adversity. Treating challenges as learning opportunities is the alchemy that you use to transmute trials into triumphs. I have one last lesson that I'll share today, which is drawing connections between diverse experiences. I'll share a line from the rap battle that demonstrates this. Ask your crew now if you win or if you fail. They can't call it like you browsing on AOL. In that line, I basically told my opponent, it's over, and at this point, your friends don't even believe in your ability to win. All while evoking the nostalgia of AOL dial-up. And for some, memories of their mom forcing them to log off so she can get phone calls. Great rappers are able to find the hidden connections between diverse concepts and use those to create beautiful metaphors. And we must also do this in business. My training company combines my doctorate level education in organizational leadership, my years of experience in the entrepreneurship space, and my skills as a rapper and music producer to create compelling solutions for our clients. We do things like help companies write diss records about their key competitors as a competitive analysis, or help organizational teams write songs about their values so they can better articulate them to their employees. I do what I do because a part of me just loves watching everyone rap, even middle-aged white dudes. Like a rapper weaving their unique experiences into a powerful verse, weaving your unique life experiences into your entrepreneurial journey will allow you to create unique value for customers. Today, I shared 4 lessons that should be shared with all business leaders. Lessons that were forged in the trenches of a rap battle that later proved to be just as valuable in the boardroom and the executive suite. This wouldn't be a talk about using hip-hop to elevate business leadership without a couple more bars to bring it home. So without further ado, Let's get into it.
Ayo, 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 B.I.Z. These are 4 things you should do to have you flowing through uncertainty and making major moves. More entrepreneurial and innovative too. Hopefully this TEDx gave you all the tools. First you must be agile at everything you do, and be prepared to freestyle at every business move, cause you don't know what's next, so what challenges arise. So being flexible will help you persevere and thrive. Hey, now let's move into the second law. Play to your audience and understand who they are. Anticipate their needs, that's how you succeed. Give them an experience that they won't believe. Now it's time to touch principle number 3, which focuses on turning failures to victories. Bouncing back is critical. Mistakes don't have to be the end of you. Resiliency's gotta be intentional. Hey, now we moving on to rule number 4. Diverse experiences helps a venture grow. Just make connections that they never seen before, to build solutions that disrupt the status quo. This is the age of opportunity, societal disruptions that's impacting you and me. Tech innovations and changing regulations. So hopefully these lessons that I share will help you succeed and flow through this uncertainty. Through this uncertainty, flow through this uncertainty. Through this uncertainty, flow through this uncertainty. Through this uncertainty, we live in fluid times, so treat these rules with urgency. These are 4 things you should do to have you flowing through uncertainty and making major moves. More entrepreneurial and innovative too. Hopefully this TEDx gave you all the tools.
Thank you.